Oi. I don't say oi, that's weird. I may have made reference to this in other videos. I know I've talked about this on Twitter, but I don't think I've done a video about this yet. I'm gonna make the All-Star Manhattan, and this came up by accident when we got this bottle of mellow corn and we were testing it out, and seriously just got it because of A, Greg from How to Drink has a bottle of mellow corn, and B, I just love that it's corn. And I think of Tom Waits every time I mention it, saying, getting all liquored up on that Roadhouse corn. So we were drinking this, like just giving it just some sips to see what it was really like. And we also got a bottle of maraschino for reasons I can't remember why. But we got it. It must have been for a specific cocktail or something, but we had it and I actually quite like it. And I thought, I bet they would go together. And it would kind of be a Manhattan with the maraschino substituting for vermouth. And I made that drink and I had it and it was just sort of okay. And then I thought, well, why don't I just make a Manhattan even though we only have white vermouth? I was like, I'll make a Manhattan with mellow corn. And then I thought, oh, might as well add some maraschino to that. And the whole thing came together and became more than the sum of its parts, and it's a really amazing drink. I've fed it to a few people now, and everyone has really enjoyed it. Oh, I didn't bring a shot glass. And everyone has really enjoyed it. In fact, I wrote this on Twitter. One day, I had one of these while I was writing something, and every time I looked down, my glass was empty, and I would be like, I'm gonna absolutely go for another. And then, like, some hours later, I'd had like 5, and like, without even thinking about it, because it's delicious and drinkable, which makes it very dangerous, but also very fun. So what I like to do is an ounce of the mellow corn. But because this is martini style drink, it doesn't need to be shaken. So I'm gonna stir it in my Ninja Turtles glass. What I like to do is just half an ounce maraschino, using that Italian pronunciation, and then half an ounce of vermouth. And it really does have to be this vermouth, this Dolan white vermouth, because now I have, this is the bottle that we had when I first made it, and it was good, and I've subsequently tried this with other vermouths and just hated them every time. Vermouth is the most troublesome, shitty drink to work with. Partly, everyone's drinking rancid vermouth. Like, don't buy big bottles thinking you're saving money. 2, store it in the fridge. And 3, you don't fucking, like, I guess 3 is, you'll have to find out what you consider good and whatnot, but get good vermouth. Don't, if it comes in a green bottle, don't buy it. Same is true of scotches. If your scotch comes in a green bottle, that just means it's being colored with caramel, and like, that serves no purpose. So, transparent bottle. And then I'm just gonna hold this ice back. Well, I didn't even give it a shake, but yeah, or a stir. But 3 ingredients. Doesn't need that much. And it doesn't need that much dilution either. Like, you just, oh my god, I'm fucking this up. You just want to give it a slight chill. Pour it out. It's a quick, easy, accessible drink. I've even done it as a highball and just had these ingredients on the rocks, and it's delicious. But I figured since I call it the All-Star Manhattan, I might as well have it in a martini glass. And if you wanted to, you could put a maraschino cherry in there. Yes, I'm switching my pronunciation of maraschino. But just an instantly delectable drink. It's... Because what you have with good vermouth, you have some smoothness. With maraschino, you have a great deal of smoothness, to the point where it's oily and thick and gives you a wide mouth feel. Mellow corn is also pretty smooth, even though it's higher proof and it is corn whiskey. There's still a good smoothness to it. So each ingredient is smooth and sweet, and yet they don't have any conflicting flavors. And it's a great, quick go-to drink. The All-Star Manhattan. As, how do I want to say this? I know I've talked about this in other videos and other places. Also, I know that I have a bad habit of saying, I've talked about this other places, or I was saying to Jay the other day that blah blah blah. It's because I hate to repeat myself, because I hate when people repeat themselves to me, so I try and always at least acknowledge if I'm doing it. Anyways. I've told this story at other times, but... Oh, that wasn't even what I wanted to do. I believe in essentialism. This is the ranting part of the video, if you didn't already know. I believe in essentialism. I believe in reducing things down to only what is important. And as that translates to drinking, that of course caused me to drink very strong drinks straight. Because what is the point of drinking, really? The point of drinking is to get liquor into your system. You can dress it up as much as you want, but that is the point. So that's the essence, and I thought it was important to be a good essentialist. And so using mellow corn as the example, as an essentialist, I would just drink mellow corn, like on the rocks, to cool it down and make it more palatable, but still to be the essence of the drink. That's why I always say it's important that a drink be more than the sum of its parts. Because, and again, I know I've said this before, if you combine elements to become something greater, then you can't defeat that with essentialism. And the example I always use is pancakes. You can't make an essentialist pancake. You need all of the ingredients plus heat plus a pan to make pancakes, and so it becomes something else. And that's why I like any drink that becomes more than the sum of its parts, that you can't just deduce, which is also why I hate rum and coke. Like if you drink a rum and coke, what do you taste? Rum and coke, and like you know exactly what it is. And it's boring and lame. Like I would rather do a shot of rum and chase it with coke and enjoy either in its essence than combine them. But that really led me to a sort of false pride and a false stoicism in drinking strong liquors straight and grimacing the whole time, and not actually enjoying the drinking, just enjoying the self-pat on the back of being a strong essentialist. I was doing bravado shots by myself, metaphorically, not literally. And so it's been a good evolution for me to get into cocktails, and also infusions. Like this obviously comes out of my love of infusions. But it's been a good evolution for me to admit that, like, anything great in life isn't about having one strong essentialist center and everything else is periphery. It's like, no matter how strong, no matter how singularly important one thing is, it is not singularly important, right? Like, for some reason, using a martini as an example, yeah, gin is extremely important. But without vermouth and ice, and even a glass, and at some point I'll have to figure out how much of a difference a glass can actually make. But without all those things, it doesn't add up to being a martini. Like, you can drink straight gin if you want to and kind of tough it out and pride yourself on your toughness for doing that. Or you can enjoy a martini. And I think it comes back to something that Alan Watts said, that I listened to a lot, where he said, you can't have pleasure without skill. And I think what that really means is that you can't, like, basically whatever effort you put in is the reward you will get out, even in making a drink. And I do think that that impacts how we feel when we're drunk. Because like I said, in essence, you drink because of how you want to feel having drunk. But if you just pound straight warm gin, which, like, I can't say I've done, but I've done the equivalent with other liquors and things, it actually is hard on your mood. Whereas I can have like 4 of these at absolutely minimal effort and actually feel like a better mood come on. And I think that's really important, and that's where I'm at philosophically, which is not what you signed up for when you started watching videos, but no one watches these anyways. I am alone talking to myself in a room, imagining all these videos being viewed in the future, either after my funeral or in some like Fallout style bunker wasteland where random bits of YouTube have been recovered and people are trying to figure out what the world used to be like at the end. So I'm gonna stop this video now before I sound too crazy.